Welcome. Over this series, we're going to build a complete doctor appointment app where patients book an appointment by simply chatting with an AI assistant. There's no clunky calendar to click through, no drop-down menus. The patient just types in plain English, "I've had a headache for 3 days. Who should I see?" And behind that little chat box, the AI reads our real database of doctors, checks each doctor's weekly schedule, writes an actual appointment into the database, and even offers to email a reminder the day before. I want you to notice how ambitious that sounds and how little code it will actually take. A few years ago, understanding a sentence like, "Book me with a heart doctor next Tuesday afternoon," would have been a research project. Today, it's a feature you can ship in an afternoon, and by the end of this series, you'll have built it with your own hands. We'll also build all the supporting pieces, so it feels like a real product, not a toy demo. There's an admin area to manage doctors and their availability, a page where patients can see their own appointments, chat history, so they can reopen an old conversation, and a scheduled job that quietly emails reminders. By the finale, you'll have something you could genuinely put in front of clinic. The engine for the smart part is the Laravel AI SDK. That's Laravel's own first-party AI package. Think of it as one clean, consistent way to talk to the big AI providers like Anthropic's Claude, OpenAI, and Google's Gemini. The huge win is that you write your code once, and switching providers is a one-line change. We'll use Gemini in this series because it has a generous free tier, which is perfect for learning without a credit card. Here's how the whole series is organized, so you always know where we are. In the first 2 episodes, we do all the boring but important groundwork. We set up the project and build the entire database up front, every table we'll ever need. After that, each episode adds exactly one feature on top of the last, and we never have to go back and redesign a table halfway through. That get the foundations completely done first approach is exactly how experienced developers avoid painting themselves into a corner. Let's start by creating the project itself. Before we can write a single line of AI code, we need a working Laravel and React project running on our machine. Now, the traditional way to do this involves installing PHP, installing Composer, installing Node, then typing a string of terminal commands, and hoping every version lines up. That's a lot of ceremony, and honestly, it's where a lot of beginners give up before they've even started. So we're going to skip all of that. We'll use Laravel Herd. Herd is a free desktop app that bundles PHP, a web server, and everything else you need into one installer. And the part one love. Recent versions of Herd let you create a brand new Laravel project entirely through its interface, by clicking buttons, not by typing commands. That's exactly what we'll do. If you haven't installed Herd yet, pause here, go to the Herd website, download it for your operating system, and run the installer. It's a few clicks and it just works. The exact wording of the buttons can shift slightly between Herd versions, so if something is labeled a little differently on your screen, don't panic. The flow is the same, and Herd's own documentation is a quick search away. Let me walk you through it. Herd opens onto a list of your sites. A site is just a project that Herd is serving for you. Right now, this list is empty, or it has other projects. Look for the button to create a new site. It's usually a plus icon or a button that says New Site near the top of the sites area. Go ahead and click it. Next, make sure to choose React Starter Kit on Starter Kit selecting page. Give the project a name. I'll call mine the AI Doctor Appointment, something like Doctor Assistant. You can choose to opt in to install team support or change any other options here, but I will stick with what is given by default, and I will opt in to initialize a Git repository for you guys to follow along what I'm doing. Watch what Herd is doing here because this is the payoff. In the background, it's downloading Laravel, installing all the PHP packages with Composer, installing all the JavaScript packages with npm, generating your app key, and creating your database file. Every one of those commands you'd normally type by hand, done for you. This can take a couple of minutes the first time, so let it finish. This is a great moment to grab water. When it's done, your new project appears in Herd site list, and next to it you'll see its address. Mine is AI.doctorappointment.test. Click that link, or type the address into your browser. And there it is, a real, running Laravel application, served securely over HTTPS, and we never touched the terminal. Notice the log in and register links in the corner. Those came free with the starter kit. Let's click register and create ourselves an account. Put in any name, any email, and a password you'll remember. We'll be logging in as this user constantly while we test the assistant. One last thing before we move on. Let's open the project in our code editor. Throughout this whole series, I'll be using Cursor. It's a code editor built on top of VS Code. So if you've ever used VS Code, everything looks and works the same. The menus and shortcuts are identical, and you'll feel right at home. If you'd rather stick with plain VS Code, that's completely fine. Every step in this series works the same in both. In Herd, you can usually right-click the site to reveal in your files, or just open the project folder. Remember, it's in that Herd folder we accepted earlier, in Cursor. From here on, this is our home base. Now, I promised we'd create the project without the terminal, and we did. But from here on, for installing packages and running Laravel's own tools, we will use the terminal. That's the normal, everyday way Laravel developers work, and Herd has already made sure the right PHP is on your path. So open the built-in terminal in Cursor, the same integrated terminal you'd find in VS Code, and let's install the AI SDK with Composer, which is PHP's package manager. This is the command we need to run, so go ahead. While that downloads, let me tell you what we just pulled in. This is the Laravel/AI package, Laravel's official AI toolkit. It gives us 3 big building blocks we'll use across the series. Agents, which are AI assistants with a personality and a job. Tools, which are PHP functions the AI is allowed to call. And conversation memory, so a chat can remember what was said earlier. We'll meet all 3. When it finishes, Laravel automatically discovers the package. There's no manual registration step. Now we publish its config file and its migrations. Publishing just means copying those files out of the hidden vendor folder and into our own project, where we can see and edit them. That command gives us 2 things. First, a configuration file, a config/ai.php, where we choose our AI provider and paste our key. Second, a database migration that will create 2 tables for storing AI conversations. We'll run that migration in a few minutes, and we'll actually use those tables later, so the assistant can remember a chat from one message to the next. Let's open that config file we just published, config/ai.php. At the very top, you'll find the default provider setting. Out of the box, it points at OpenAI. We're using Gemini, so let's change it. But rather than hard-coding Gemini, right here, we'll read it from an environment variable and just default to Gemini. Let me explain why we do it this way, instead of just typing Gemini. The env function reads a value from our .env file, and if it's not set, it falls back to the second argument, Gemini. This little pattern is a best practice you'll see everywhere in Laravel. Anything that might change between your laptop and a real server, or anything secret, lives in .env, not baked into your code. Today, it means you could switch the whole app from Gemini to Claude by changing one line in one file, without touching this code at all. Now scroll down to the providers array and find the block for Gemini. Notice what's already here. It names a driver, it pulls an API key from the environment, and it has Gemini's base URL. We don't need to change anything in this block. Laravel has set it up correctly for us. All we have to do is supply the key it's looking for. Let's go do that. Open the .env file in the root of the project. This file holds all your machine-specific and secret settings. Let's add 2 lines for the AI SDK. The first line, AI_provider, is the exact variable our config file reads. So this is what actually selects Gemini. The second line is where our secret key will go. Right now it's empty. Let's go get a real key. To get a free key, open Google AI Studio in your browser, sign in with a Google account, and look for the Get API Key or Create API Key button. It generates a long string of characters. Copy it, come back to .env, and paste it right after the equal sign on the Gemini for key line. I will not paste it live here, I will add it behind the scene, so you want copy and use my key, just use yours from Google. Now, a serious word about that key, because I've watched people learn this the hard way. Treat it exactly like a password. Anyone who has it can spend against your Google account. The reason we put it in .env is that Laravel's env file is gitignore by default, meaning it never gets committed and never ends up pushed to GitHub for the world to see. There's a real war story behind this. Developers have accidentally committed API keys to public repositories and woken up to a huge bill because bots scrape GitHub for exactly these strings within minutes. So, key goes in .env, never in your code, never in a screenshot. There's one more file to touch. Open .env.example. That's the template that does get committed, so teammates know which variables they need. Add the same 2 lines there, but leave the key value blank. That way you're documenting that the variable exists without ever leaking the secret. And one tip from experience that will save you a confusing afternoon later. When we choose a specific model in a couple of episodes, we'll use a stable one called Gemini 2.5 Flash. It's tempting to grab the very newest preview model, but on the free tier those newest models are often overloaded and will hand you back errors that look like your code is broken when it isn't. We'll set that stable model explicitly when we build the agent, so you don't hit that wall. Remember that migration we published a few minutes ago, the one for storing AI conversations? Let's run it now. In Laravel, running migrations is how you build your database tables from code. Watch the output. Laravel prints each migration as it runs and marks it done. This one creates 2 tables, agent_conversations and agent_conversation_messages. Let me make it concrete why they matter with a scenario. Imagine a patient's first message is, I think I need a cardiologist. Then their very next message is just book me for Monday. A human receptionist obviously remembers they were talking about a cardiologist. Without memory, an AI would have completely forgotten. These 2 tables are what let our assistant remember. The SDK will save every message here and reload it, so the conversation flows like a real one. We'll switch that memory on in episode 3 when we build the agent, and read from these same tables in episode 6 to show chat history. If you ever want to peek at your database and confirm those tables really exist, Herd ships with a database viewer, and there are great free tools like Table Plus, but you don't need to. If the migrate command finished without red errors, they're there. Let's take a breath and see how far we've come. We created an entire Laravel and React project using nothing but Laravel Herd's interface. No terminal gymnastics. We register a user. We installed Laravel's official AI SDK, pointed it at Google Gemini, safely tucked our API key into .env, and ran the migration that gives our assistant a memory. That's a complete, running foundation. In the next episode, we build the entire database for the app in one focus sitting. Doctors, their weekly availability, appointments, and an admin flag on our users. Getting every table done up front is the single best decision we'll make, because it means every episode after this one gets to focus purely on features. See you there.